Game 7. We can talk about the pitching matchup, but we have no idea the pitching matchup right now. So Max Scherzer reportedly is going to get the ball for the Blue Jays. Coming off a pretty decent start against them in his last go-around. Future Hall of Famer. He's going to summon some spirit. And he's going to spin those sliders. And then, of course, it's going to be bullpen chaos. Could we see Trey Savage again? I feel like that's unlikely. But maybe not. Couple days off. Fresh arm. I mean, he's 22 years old. You know, he's probably chomping at the bit to throw. Who else do you think we're going to see? Definitely high leverage Bassett. Dude's a weapon. Sir Anthony Dominguez, Jeff Hoffman.
Varland's going to get in there and break the record for like the most appearances in a playoffs. I saw today, I think he tied it or whatever, right?
Yeah, so he's got 14 tied an MLB record. He's getting a 15th. It's going to be all hands on deck.
I can tell you who's going to start for the Dodgers, though.
Ohtani?
So here's why. Ohtani on 3 days rest, because there's that rule where they made the Ohtani rule. If your starting pitcher is going to be your DH, when they get removed as your pitcher, they can stay as the DH. If he pitches out of the bullpen, they got to pull him from the game, which you're not going to pull as bad of the lineup. So I don't think we're going to see Ohtani on 3 days rest getting 6 innings. But Ohtani going through the lineup at least one time on 3 days rest, starting the game, and then Glasnow, I think that's how they do it. I think it's Ohtani. You know, if you're lucky, maybe you can get 3 out of him, and then you go to Glasnow. That's how I think they're going to play it. But then again, Glasnow just pitched, so I don't know how that's going to impact him. But I'm sure we'll see him. I just don't think we're going to see 95 pitches from Glasnow. I think I think we might see maybe it's 50 pitches from Ohtani. Maybe you get 60 from Glasnow, and you hope that carries you through most of the game. But I mean, and then it's all hands on deck.
Is there any chance we see Yamamoto again? Like, could it be Ohtani for 4, Glasnow for 3, and then Yamamoto for 1, then to Roki again? But it's also, how is Roki going to respond after throwing over 30 pitches the day before?
You know what's crazy? How do I feel that Yamamoto is going to be fresher than Roki?
Yeah, I do feel like that. I always feel like Yamamoto is fresher than Glasnow. Somehow.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I kind of feel like Yamamoto, if the Dodgers win the World Series, I feel like Yamamoto gets the final 3 outs.
I mean, that's how the Dodgers got it last year against the Yankees with Walker Buehler coming in. They like having the starter there, and you still got to trust Roki. You still got to trust Robleski, but I don't think we're seeing Anthony Bonda. I don't think we're definitely not seeing Blake Trinan. I don't think we're going to see Emmett Sheehan. I think this is the best of what the Dodgers have. It's Glasnow, it's Ohtani, it's Yamamoto, it's Robleski.
Snell maybe gets in the game too.
Here's the thing, though.
He hasn't pitched great, though.
But the thing is, Ohtani pitched pretty well against the Jays, but they're not afraid of him. They already kind of hit Glasnow. It wasn't anything crazy, but they definitely weren't shut out. The only pitcher who has been able to quiet this Jays offense is Yamamoto. And he just threw. Of course, he could throw again. Of course he could. But he's not going to throw for length. He'd maybe go an inning. Give me Kershaw. Game 7 last of his career.
It would be funny to just see probable pitchers, Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer. But there's no chance. Like I said, I'd almost guarantee that because of that rule, even if Ohtani throws an inning, we're going to see Ohtani at the beginning of the game. You either have to start the game with Ohtani or finish the game with Ohtani because of that rule. So it's one or the other. I think they're going to start Ohtani. I really do.
So probably going to be Ohtani because of that rule, taking on Max Scherzer. And then after, might see a Savage. On the Dodgers side, definitely going to see Glasnow. And then it's really, Roberts just said no Yamamoto tomorrow. There's no way. I know he said it. I'm not going to believe it.
He said no Buehler last year, I'm sure. Going into that game.
No way he should just be like, no, we're not. if the situation calls for it.
Well,
Is he going to Anthony Bonda, Emmett Sheehan, Blake Trinan, or is he going to Yamamoto?
Dave Roberts also told us he was going to pitch a position player, so maybe he's just a known liar at this point.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and also you don't want to tell the Blue Jays. Do you want to tell the Blue Jays? Could he be playing some mind games? Be like, yeah, he's ready for tomorrow.
He's
Because
starting.
Yamamoto is going to hear that press conference and be like, "What are you talking about? I'm ready." Like, what do you mean? Of course I'm coming in.
Yamamoto hears that while he's doing a handstand.
From Ozzy, I speak fluent Dave Roberts. I'm telling you guys, he's lying. I couldn't agree with you more, Ozzy. He is, I don't know if he's lying. I think he also isn't ready to do that press conference. None of us are ready to talk about this game yet. Because I bet if the way the question was probably posed, is Yamamoto available? And he's probably saying, well, he just threw 96 pitches. No.
Yeah.
But then he's going to think about it afterwards and be like, of course he is. So we might see him regardless. Hard to really break down a game when we don't know what type of pitchers are going to even be coming into this game. That's why Game 7 is so perfect. And really, a Game 7 preview, we're all just wasting our time because we all know that the reason we love Game 7 so much is that anything can happen. So walking through each matchup, I mean, the complete opposite is going to happen. I just want to get your feelings because breaking it down statistically, who cares? Throw all of that out the window. What does your gut tell you about Game 7?
Man, what does my gut tell me about Game 7? This whole time I've always felt like somehow the Dodgers were just going to win it. So like there's part of me that still leans that way, but this Blue Jays team has been so impressive. I certainly wouldn't put my money on the Dodgers to win this game. It's crazy. My gut the whole time has always leaned Dodgers, but I think if the Dodgers, here's what I'd say: if it's a close game, the Dodgers win. If there's one team that's going to rout the other, I think it's the Blue Jays. Like I don't think I'll see. I can't envision the Dodgers just walk on over the Blue Jays in Game 7, and that's how it ends.
I picked the Dodgers to win the World Series in 5 games at the beginning of this series. I said they are quite possibly the best team of my lifetime. But the Blue Jays have been the better team this series, and I was wrong. I want to stick with my prediction and go with the Dodgers. Just stick with it. My bank account wants me to stick with the Dodgers because I have all these futures on them. I'm hedging. The Blue Jays have been the better team this series. Their wins have been much more convincing. Their losses are airtight. Their offense, even though they only scored 1 run in this game, they still out-hit the Dodgers. The Dodgers offense in this game did not prove anything to me. You finally got 1 or 2 big hits, and you got bailed out by Yamamoto. And then even in the final inning, they almost lost without a bonehead base running mistake. We could be talking about the Blue Jays winning in 6 and George Springer ending the game with the second consecutive walk-off home run to win the World Series for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have been better. I don't care about the starting pitching matchup.
Yeah.
The one area I trust the most in this entire game is the Blue Jays offense. I trust them. I don't care about Glasnow. Blue Jays have hit him. I don't care about Ohtani. The Blue Jays have hit him. The Blue Jays can clearly hit anyone the Dodgers throw out of their bullpen, and they're not afraid. They know. I bet a lot of people in the media are going to choose the Dodgers because the Dodgers have the better roster, quote unquote. The Blue Jays deserve to win Game 7. They have been playing better. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays as my Game 7 winner. I will be hedging out of these World Series futures. I think this is their series. At home, in front of that crowd, the Dodgers offense has not shown us anything. Now, of course, could they just break out tomorrow? Of course. It's the Dodgers. They can do it at any moment. Could Scherzer just have a terrible start? Of course. He's 41. Of course. But the future Hall of Famer on the mound at home, glaring with 2 different color eyes, with that offense playing with nothing to lose, one last game for Springer and Bichette. Bichette's going to be a free agent. Springer's got no obliques left. Vladdy's still swinging the way that he is. Barger swinging the way that he... Blue Jays win this game 5-3. That's my final score prediction.
You've been pretty good on those. I also got to give you credit for not hedging today, because if I was in your position, I'm sure a lot of people who might have been in your position, I would have hedged. I watched your video. Your rationale made sense. You like the Dodgers in this game with Yamamoto, but that took some stones to wait on it. And obviously you'll end up on a better side of it hedging now for just a game 7 instead of taking it early.
Thank you for saying that. I was called some nasty names in my DMs and in my comments. People calling me very stupid and other bad names. Like, how can you not hedge? Of course the Blue Jays are going to win the World Series. You got to play the math. Got to play the matchup. Again, I wanted to hedge immediately after that Game 5 win. I'm like, the Dodgers are done. This series is over. I can't believe how bad the bats are. I always tell myself, sleep on it. Wake up, do the math, figure out the matchups, and be like, is this a good bet? No, it's not. I'm willing to go down with the ship. Why did I pick the Dodgers in the first place? Because I was pretty confident they're going to win the Yamamoto games. What changed?
Yeah.
Do I think the Blue Jays are going to hit Yamamoto? No. But here's the thing. This game, I genuinely feel the Blue Jays should win. Now, I could hedge, and it could end up being a bad decision, and the Dodgers end up winning, and I cost myself some profit. But I'm fine with it. Going into it, I believe the Blue Jays win this game. I believe it. They have earned it. They have been the better team. Point blank period, they're at home. Dodgers offense has not done enough. Their defense, I mean, that Muncy error, what are you doing? But no, I think the Blue Jays win game 7. I really do. Where are you at?
Like I said before, the whole time I've been leaning Dodgers, but the way that this series has gone, the way it has looked, I mean, you make a really compelling case for the Blue Jays. I guess the one thing that I would say, on the Dodger side of it is if their starting pitchers can deliver, because I think they're going to be able to lean on pretty much all of them. So there is it's just that Blue Jays lineup is keeping them down is the thing. But like, if Ohtani and Glasnow both look good, like, you can get through a large chunk of that game without having to go to your bullpen. And I just to me, I think the Dodgers have more weapons to go to in an all hands on deck game when the Blue Jays are starting Scherzer. And it's like, at some point, Scherzer at this point in his career, you're always just at any point he can just give up like 3 home runs.
We keep saying that. And he keeps shoving. Like, not shoving, obviously, but keeping his team in the game.
I'm just saying, like, the other side of it would be if Scherzer has an early meltdown and then the Dodger starters can deliver. That's how the Dodgers win the game. But again, like you said, based on what we've seen through 6 games, which team deserves to win this World Series? There's no doubt about it. The Blue Jays have been the better team in this series. And I think that who's going to be the betting favorite going into the game?
Why don't we check right now on BetMGM? Let's pull it up.
I'm curious because I
posted the lines. Because it's interesting to see, even if you don't care about betting at all, like even if you don't like it, it's interesting to see what the market, because there's a reason Vegas is so shiny. It's because they're the best at making these lines. Opening lines, Dodgers -135, Blue Jays +115. It's a bad line. Yeah. I think it should be -110 on both sides. That's why, again, we're talking about hedging. Would you take the bet anyway? If I never had a Dodger future, I would be betting Blue Jays money line in game 7 at +115. You can't tell me it's anything less than a 50-50 ball game. You can't tell me that.
Well, what I'm curious too, for those of who aren't aware of the numbers, like, what was the difference on if you had hedged today compared to that game 7?
So let's say I would have bet Blue Jays series price -230.
Mm.
So I would have to put like 8 units to win like my money back if the Dodgers were to end up losing that game. And I thought to myself, that's overvalued. What that's doing is preying on people who think the Dodgers are dead. And then you could bet Blue Jays money line in game 2. I thought the Dodgers had a better chance than the line indicated. So I said, I'm just going to make a bad bet to guarantee profit. That's not why I bet.
Yeah.
I don't make bad bets like that. I don't care if the Dodgers lose. That's the wrong bet. Long term, that's going to win me more money than playing stuff like that, guaranteeing me profit in the short term. I play for the long term. I play the odds. That's why ultimately my futures are better than my game-to-game picks, because my math and the way I cap is better with a longer period of results than a one-game sample size. But in a one-game sample size where I think anything can happen, and I trust the Blue Jays bats and they get the bottom of the ninth, when I have seen nothing from any of their bullpen arms to make me think that they're going to have a disaster back there. Dominguez looks disgusting. Hoffman has done his job every single time. Louis Varland's stuff today, it looked like he had the ball on a string. He was throwing sliders. It said it was 89. I was like, that's 95. It's a 95-mile-an-hour curveball right there. You're lying about the velocity. Just firing in 99-mile-an-hour fuzzballs. I believe in them. If Trey Savage comes in, what? The Dodgers going to suddenly hit him?
Yeah.
They couldn't even hit him when he stunk in game 1. I thought he did not look good, and the Dodgers didn't hit him. They only put up 2 runs in 4 innings. I thought he looked worse in that start than he did against the Mariners when he gave up 5 earned. I really did. I thought his location was worse. He only threw 13% splitters because he didn't have it. That's like what Trey Savage is the splitter, and he didn't have it. So I don't think miraculously Muncy is just going to snap out of it, or Teoscar, or, I mean, Mookie had that big hit, but besides that, it wasn't all that great. It's not like Ohtani's hitting that well, and in a big spot, they just intentionally walk him anyway. Freddie Freeman, you know, he's hit some balls hard. Again, what am I talking about with Freddie Freeman? Like, he's great. But I'm just saying, I'm looking at the Blue Jays lineup, and I feel like every single one of you from 1 to 9 can get a big hit in a big spot. And I look at the Dodgers from 1 to 9, I feel like I'm focusing in on a few of you. I can't back that. As the favorite? No. They're the favorite because of the better roster. They're the favorite because they have the better starting pitching matchup, which heavily affects the lines. It's just a fact. But that doesn't mean they win. Now, I'm not going to hedge a crazy amount. I still want my upside of the Dodgers. But I will be hedging because I think the Blue Jays win game 7.
Yeah. And obviously, yeah, you went from what you said minus 230 to plus 115. So,
exactly.
I mean, big win for you there.
Yeah, now I get a better shot to hedge, and the other side of the hedging is a plus money pick, so I don't even have to put that much money on it. And sometimes you just got to sack up and believe in what you believe. Stand on it. Don't overreact. Thank you, Ozzy. Big balls, Peter Apple. And we'll end on that. Hopefully everybody enjoys their Halloween Friday. Thank you for spending it with us, by the way. Really appreciate everybody joining us. I know you could be out in the town getting candy or doing whatever the hell that you want, going to Halloween parties. Thank you again, Fink. Really appreciate you joining me. Wouldn't miss this episode of The World. As we cover baseball, like, we're never celebrating a Halloween ever again. I don't even care. I will totally throw away Halloween for the rest of my life in order to watch games like this. Game 7, Dodgers Jays at the Rogers Center. Get the first back-to-back champs since the Yankees, or we get the first championship north of the border since 1993. I can't wait. Think anything else before we say goodbye?
Nope, just can't wait for tomorrow. And also, baseball will be played in November, so that's pretty cool too.
Hell yeah. Maybe we'll get a new Mr. November. Also, thank you, Daniel, for donating. Do you give Yamamoto World Series MVP if they win game 7? It depends.
When he gets the save, I mean...
Yeah. And what if Shohei has 2 home runs? Then it's like, well...
That's true.
Shohei
starts the game, strikes out 10 in 4 innings. We could do that whole game again.
Exactly. So, again, we got to wait on that, but appreciate the question. I think he's right up there now. If you look at the odds, it's Ohtani, Vladdy, and Yamamoto right at the top of World Series MVP. So it's probably going to be one of those 3. But who knows? Maybe it's somebody else. But we will see. Game 7. Again, thank you to everybody for joining. The best way to support the Just Baseball Show, again, if you were with us on YouTube, smash the like button for us before you go. Best way to support the free show. And of course, make sure to subscribe because we'll be live tomorrow. We'll be live tomorrow. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch that game. I still can't get over Addison Barger getting thrown out. I just can't. But everybody's done with me rambling. Make sure to go get your Just Baseball merch. If you're listening to this on audio, make sure to leave a written review, 5 stars, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your shows. If we only got one more episode together this season, what a season it's been. For Ryan Finkelstein, I'm Peter Apple. We'll see you tomorrow. And with that, thank you, everybody.